Welcome back to the election special Will and Willie show with Willie Brown and Will Durst. I'm Paul Wells. Our guest in this segment is a second-term District 5 representative on the Board of Supervisors of San Francisco, candidate for San Francisco Sheriff and 8-term Sheriff Michael Hennessey's choice as successor. I'd like to welcome Ross Mirkarimi to the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Ross. How's it look? Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's a culmination of many months of campaigning. You know what's exciting about this election? I know all the
It's going to be over?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I've been to every Muni BART station, every bus stop in the world, and so have many other candidates. But the focus has been on the mayor's race. This is a rare event. You know, this is the first time that there's been an open race for sheriff in 32 years. And for a politically engaged city like San Francisco, that hasn't happened in over a generation. So many people don't even know what the sheriff does or what the sheriff could do. So this has been a very exciting race.
Now, how did you get to be the choice of Michael Hennessey?
Well, long story short, I worked in law enforcement before I was elected to the Board of Supervisors in 2004. First year of ranked choice voting, by the way, which when I ran was 23 candidates. And I worked very closely with Mike Hennessey because I represent a part of the community, the city, known as the Western Addition of Fillmore. And they had the second highest murder rate for about 20 years notoriously. And we worked together very closely about making sure that we address the violent crime rate. And we have the highest drop in violent crime citywide, but it's not because of a police response only. It's about those coming out of county jail and making sure that we are helping those less likely to repeat their crimes who return back to public housing and surrounding neighborhoods. So,
Ross, in your race, how are you managing to directly appeal to the voters in what we call ranked choice voting? Are you telling every voter, no matter who else you vote for me, 1, 2, or 3?
Not specifically. What I had been doing, though, is telling people, vote your conscience. Of course, I want them to vote for me first.
You didn't say when you vote your conscience and I am your conscience? You know?
I actually try to be very courteous and professional, and I think you project a certain confidence rather than. But when I meet people who are certainly supportive of my opponents, and I think you were speaking about this earlier, about the collegiality factor. So you want to sort of endear yourself to others who have multiple candidates in mind, so you're part of the slate of 1, 2, 3 of the voters. And that's what ranked choice has done. It's actually sort of fostered, engineered a collegiality that may have not existed before. And you really want to be on every voter's kind of menu of options.
Ross, in the mayor's race, there apparently is just tons of pieces being sent out, hitting one or another candidate.
Right.
Anything like that in your race? Anybody doing any kind of hits on people in your race?
It's actually been rather genteel, but in this last few days leading up into the election itself, we're starting to see a little bit of nastiness. I've even executed a punch, but I've always come from the principled place where you should attach your name to the hit.
Okay, as a voter, when you said executed a punch, that means, you mean you swung at somebody?
Oh, of course. I think it's important to paint the contrast. For example, I'm endorsed by the Democratic Party. My opponents are not. I think it's important to execute a punch, and that's a Valentine card more than anything. But I think it's important to attach your name in. And don't forget, unlike the mayor's race, they have public financing. We don't have public financing. We raise money the old-fashioned way.
So how much have we raised?
I'll get over 300 to 350,000, and that's small for a citywide race. So now I'm a student of ranked choice voting in 2 district elections, but to actually run citywide, a whole nother creature. And let me tell you.
Did you vote for ranked choice voting? Have you ever voted for ranked choice voting?
I did when it was on the ballot.
On the ballot? Would you do it again?
San Francisco. Let's talk to me after the election.
Diplomatic answer.
How is electioneering? How is campaigning changed?
It's changing.
Because with the social media.
I've had these discussions, I think, with Mayor Willie Brown. When I was elected supervisor, one of the incredible things I love about district elections is I walked and knocked on every single door in my district. And I've done that many times over, even between elections. The shoe cobbler loves me. I've burned so much holes in my shoe leather that I go at it repeatedly. Citywide, it's almost impossible. Phone banking is never what it was because a lot of people don't even have home phones anymore. And so phone banking operations and machines are not like what it used to be. If you do a door-to-door kind of precinct operation, maybe that's the old generational tried and true, but it's difficult to mobilize.
Ross, have you seen these handheld devices that I saw on Saturday in your district where people actually have all the information about you? Well, they walk up to you and ring your doorbell, and whatever your house, and then they can punch the button.
It's true.
And it comes on display.
It's part of an app.
It's not an app.
But technology is now evolving where it actually secures with greater precision who it is you want to go connect with. But the bottom line is...
As a civilian, can I get that?
Yeah,
I can just walk around and find out, 732
because it's borrowed from the Department of Elections and it's public data. It's public data.
So three people live here, 2 adults,
That's
one
right.
teenager.
And what your voter registration is.
Holy moly.
Income
it's all
level,
public
no,
it's
for the
worse than that.
place.
It's how many bedrooms? How many
Yes.
bedrooms? And if it's 2 guys,
Your
2
demography,
names.
if you're part of the gay
Google
community, African
picture of the
American,
front of your house.
Chinese American, if you're a senior. So it now works in that. But you need that infrastructure
Income
to
and
support
age,
that.
that's out there too.
No, well, I think that's...
No, but it's what you
Spoke to you.
read. It's what you read. What magazines do you receive? What catalogs do you receive? If you receive Bloomingdale's catalog, if you receive Bergdorf Goodman's catalog, or if you receive J-Bank,
It's where science and technology...
Tiffany or Target.
It's where science and technology meet sort of the personal, the
Are you
retail
using this
politics.
technology?
No, we don't have the infrastructure for it, and frankly, the mayor's race has really kind of eclipsed district attorney and sheriff's race, which is why I think all the good candidates in the race for sheriff are really trying their best to get to meet voters.
well, you know, the whole business now of campaigning, you have to put so much money into technology. You really do have to put a ton of money into technology, and he is correct. His is still kind of the old-fashioned kind of campaign,
Right.
But campaigns from the time that I ran for mayor of this city, we literally locked down long before Election Day how many people we thought were going to vote absentee ballots. We went to find the people to fulfill that requirement, and we matched all the process. We had a data bank.
You would focus
that's
on them
unbelievable.
first? You would focus on the
Absolutely.
absentees
sure,
first?
because they start voting the first of the
Right.
month. And they go the whole
It's the
whole
fastest
time.
growing voter population, by
As a
the way,
matter of
is
fact,
absentee.
Newsom loses his first election without absentee ballots.
Oh, he was behind.
No.
He was behind the night of.
To
That's
Matt
right.
Gonzalez,
He got
he
that.
won because of absentees, because Matt Gonzalez in 2003
Actually won.
on election day.
By 10,000 votes.
By 10,000
Or
votes.
some other
That's
similar
right.
number.
That's right.
So you can't when I first messed around with campaigns, 280 or so campaigns that I did or participated in one way or another, we had one guy in Orange County, Democrat, who, we had him set out and he'd ring the doorbells, understanding what you said about people. And he rang the doorbell and, lady shows up and he said, you Will Durst? And she says, no, I'm not Will Durst. Oh, yes, you are Will Durst. He gets in an argument with this woman because she won't answer to what's on his deal.
Wonder if he got that vote.
Probably not. We pulled him off the campaign trail.
Yes, you are.
Absolutely. Well, this race will be a bit of a referendum on ranked choice voting for the mayor, DA, and sheriff, depending on the outcomes. I think some of them are predictable. I think that's been earlier mentioned in the program, and we'll see how people sort of embrace. I'm not so sure we're going to see any Oaklands here in San Francisco, but ranked choice gives that air of mystery and unpredictability, so we'll see.
Now, there's one thing I'd like to cover while we have you, since you're running for Sheriff of San Francisco. What would be your policy, and how do you see the Occupy movement, Occupy San Francisco, the 10 cities?
Well, speaking of Oakland, bottom line is no Oaklands. The way that I think it was handled in Oakland was atrocious. I, as a member of the Board of Supervisors, know my colleagues are feeling very insistent that the mayor and the police department operate from a place of negotiation, regulate, but operate from a place of negotiation. What would really blow back is if violence erupted and there would be any kind of reaction in the way that it occurred in Oakland. It was not handled well at all.
Have you visited
Oakland.
both?
I have. I visited. I have.
Is there
I don't see the end game, by the way, and so it's not clear.
Winter.
Well, maybe.
It's called winter.
But we've been through this before. This isn't the first time that there's been sort of a tent city, per se, that is affiliated with a particular subject. Food Not Bombs used to do this during the AIDS and HIV crisis early in the city.
What
It
about
happened
the
as well.
native populations of the two encampments in Justin Herman and
I mean,
Franco
homeless
Gulf?
populations.
No, who are the people who are in Franco Gallo Square, and who are the people in Justin Herman? Are they different? Does one tend to be more homeless or activist or anarchist or ist?
Well, I think it's a melting pot, and I think for somebody at the Board of Supervisors, ourselves, who try to be sensitive to what is happening nationally and statewide and understand the great frustration, the outrage is appropriate, but how to channel that, because we're always looking for the bottom line, right? And that's not here. The bottom line isn't here. There isn't a concrete platform. There isn't a manifesto. There isn't like, we want this politician in or that one out. They just want change and they want respect. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to thread it into something concrete and tangible. That's what's missing a little bit. And I certainly hope that the Occupy movement adds to the election process, not take away from it.
Well, it's like a pot of boiling water. If you take the lid off, all the steam dissipates. But if you have a tea kettle and a nozzle where it's focused, it makes a lot more noise, and you can use it as a weapon.
Right.
And with that analogy, I want to thank Ross Mirkarimi for being our guest on the Will and Willie Show. We have a couple more segments to do, and one including Christine Pelosi, attorney,
coming out
author,
next.
and activist, and has a new book coming out. Willie Brown, Will Durst, I'm Paul Wells, and again, Ross, thanks for being a guest on the election special.
Good luck on Tuesday, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bowers Intelligent Transportation moves over 6,000 people to and from work every day in luxury and style. Our state-of-the-art luxury coaches are fully equipped with leatherette seating, Wi-Fi, DirecTV, Corian tables, power outlets for your phone or laptop, and even a bathroom. Each Bowers coach removes as many as 52 cars and 2 million pounds of carbon monoxide per year. Commute to and from work for as low as $13 a day. Call Bowers Intelligent Transportation today at 800-546-6688 or online at bowersit.com.